Sri Lanka has lifted import restrictions on 286 items, according to its finance ministry. It's being taken as a sign the country is starting to emerge from its worst economic crisis in decades. In March, Sri Lanka received a $3 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund, which helped to ease concerns among its international creditors, notably China, who've provided around $7 billion in loans and infrastructure investments. That IMF loan was shepherded by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. He took over after Gotabaya Rajapaksa stepped down following intense protest. But the Rajapaksa faction remains in Parliament, and human rights groups have expressed concern about the government's alleged severe crackdowns on further protests. Asanga Abeyagoonasekera is a political analyst based in Washington. Does he think the lifting of import restrictions is cause to celebrate?
No, definitely it's good news. Sri Lanka has, dramatically improved in its economic reforms with the IMF lifeline, which helps Sri Lanka to bolster its foreign exchange reserves. The currency has stabilized significantly from double-digit inflation last year, the highest 70% we had. So I think we've avoided the Zimbabwean or Venezuelan style sort of runaway inflation.
Well, what is it that Sri Lanka's done differently to, say, Lebanon or Pakistan, for example?
I think one pragmatic reform that the president introduced was detaching the politics away from the economic policies. Wickremesinghe tends to sort of recalibrate all of the previous regime's mistakes and sort of say that, look, I'm here to correct those mistakes. So you could see the last 12 months that he's doing that.
But of course, the predecessors, the old regime has not disappeared, has it? It's still there.
Yeah, so I think although we are in the right track towards, achieving some sort of economic stability, the political stability is still a question because the legislature is controlled by the previous regime, the government, which is the SLPP, the Rajapaksas. So there, I would say the ultra-nationalist sentiments or the populist sentiments are still there. You could see those because from the act, which is the Anti-Terrorism Act, which was tabled to the recently to the Parliament. So those, I think, elements would sort of derail this process. While you see this economic stability to some extent, the political stability, I'm still concerned.
Just tell us a little bit about what life is like for ordinary Sri Lankans now and what kind of difference the lifting of import restrictions is going to make to them on an everyday scale.
You could see some sort of stability. The cost of medicine has come down. The essential goods also come down slowly. So I think that would help. But we are still at the beginning of these reforms.
And that was Asanga Abeyagoonasekera, who is a political analyst based in Washington, DC, about the lifting of import restrictions on 286 items by Sri Lanka. You're listening to NewsHour from the BBC World Service.